All right, you want to give us our intro?
Okay. Intro.
All right. Welcome to another Mouthpiece Entertainment movie review. We are speaking about Mortal Kombat, the new release that we just watched. Well, you just watched.
Yes.
Me, Nick P, your co-host.
Diana.
All the way off camera.
Oh, yeah. Just hiding her own little corner. As always, I'm Shad-Don.
Off camera Diana. Isn't that something? All right, so let's delve right into this. We just saw the 2021 new Mortal Kombat release, thanks to HBO Max.
Yes.
And how'd you like it, Rashad? What'd you think?
I'm really surprised. Hell of an upgrade from that Annihilation bullshit they gave us years ago.
Which is not hard to do.
Exactly. I mean, the animated movie even did that.
If I draw a duck blindfolded in Microsoft Paint from Windows 95, it would be better than the entirety of Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
This is true.
The sad part is you're not wrong.
You're not wrong at all.
It was very whack, very whack. But on this one, we are traveling along with Cole Young, a character that does not exist in the Mortal Kombat lore until now. I'm not going to reveal what his importance is in the movie, but it's significant. And I'm going to say I like the fact that they gave us a brand new character that has no backstory that we're aware of.
Well, they kind of hinted at it. They gave like a small, quick backstory, but no full backstory.
Well, I'm saying we're not going into this movie saying that's not how Cole got his powers.
Exactly.
That's not his backstory with Reiko.
Yep.
I don't like this. No, this is a completely fresh character. Yep. We can be introduced into this new universe of Mortal Kombat with zero backstory on this guy, and I like that. We can learn about...
People hate it.
People do hate it, but we can learn about him and this world at the same time, and I dig it.
Yeah, I like their whole approach to it, and I'm still on the fence on the R rating for it, because if it's just for the language, yeah.
You saw these fatalities.
But that's what I was going to get to.
What
the fatality.
This fool literally says pussy like 3.
No, oh yeah, I know, but I mean,
times.
I've watched PG-13 movies that have said that, but the fatalities is what gives it. The fatalities were fucking phenomenal.
The bop, the kerpow. Yeah,
I mean and then that way they introduce other characters that weren't in previous movies.
I have been seeing a lot of people shitting on this movie, and I don't get it. I get some of it. Somebody said that there was a lot of really bad one-liners, and I agree. There was a shit ton of bad one-liners. There's a lot of this probably would have worked in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah,
kind of stuff thrown in there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mainly coming from one very specific character who looks like he should have been in the 90s. I'm not going to give too much away, but just know randomly blurting out your military credentials after getting kicked in the face. That's a weird whack flex.
Dude, that flex was so uncalled for.
Like, most of this character's one-liners are just like...
But the one-liner, in his quote-unquote powers fully manifested, we'll just put it that way. The one-liner he said then, kind of made up for the shitty fight scene that took place before he redeemed himself as far as one-liners goes. No, I'm gonna leave it alone. We're trying not to do too many spoilers here. Yeah. We're trying not to do any spoilers here. No. But let's keep a few things in mind when we're watching this movie. This is based off of a 1990s video game that was made by 4 people in 10 months because the video game company that no longer exists, Midway, is kind of trash. Yeah.
10 months this game was made, and it's created this phenomenon. Now, we've had one movie that we thought was good way back when because we didn't know any better. I
Facts.
was in I barely cracked my double digits in age, and what I saw amazed me.
Yeah, like it was dope. I mean, and me being a fan of martial arts and being a fan of video game, it was like sweet.
Yeah, fucking sweet.
Then they greenlit the sequel.
And then they gave us part 2, which is Annihilation, which was trash. And then they gave us...
That should have been straight to YouTube.
And they gave us kinda part 3, which was Mortal Kombat Conquest, the TV show that was on the USA Network that came on after WWE.
Wasn't there a cartoon?
Defenders of the Realm, yeah.
Yes.
Defenders of the Realm. Both of those were subpar, but they gave you Mortal Kombat like you wanted.
Then they gave us the straight to DVD quick clip things. What is it? That Mortal Kombat Retribution? Or
They did a Scorpion movie too.
Well, before we jump to that, we got Mortal Kombat Rebirth, which was a fan-made film, which then became Mortal Kombat Legacy as a series.
Legacy, thank you.
Which the first season was dope. Season 2 was shit when the company or whatever
I never got to see season 2.
don't. It completely ignores everything dope it did in season 1. But I say all that just to bring it to what we saw in this movie gave us more than those ever did.
Yeah.
The games let us do all these special moves, throw spheres out of nowhere,
Yep.
slide on ice, create ice out of nowhere. This movie went as far as to
Beat a motherfucker
explain.
with the motherfucker.
True. This movie went on to explain how they're able to do that.
Yeah, it gave them. It was like it reintroduced characters we're already familiar with, but it kind of gave them, in a sense, a new backstory of how they have these abilities.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think what pisses me off the most about this movie is that it was able to draw people in like me who don't necessarily play the game, and then everyone else turns around. Well, not everyone, but I just am really hearing this narrative of if you never played the game or you weren't a fan of it, then you shouldn't even have opinion on the movie. So I'm just like, whatever.
Shit
like that pisses me off.
But let me say something crazy like, I don't want to hear a goddamn thing out your mouth about Batman if you don't know who Jean-Paul Valley is.
Yeah. Or let me not hear you say a damn thing about your opinion on birth control if you don't have a fucking uterus.
Yeah, it's like...
I can't argue that.
It's like, stop gatekeeping stuff. It's ridiculous.
It just gets on my nerves.
Don't gatekeep,
I felt
educate.
like this movie was such a movie for people who aren't super into the game to have a way to be able to tie in and relate to people who really love the game.
Yeah.
Like you said, it brought in information that didn't exist, so it wasn't like it was going to be displeasing to some people or doing justice to the game in some ways. And I think it made, like, I honestly really enjoyed the movie. Didn't have good hopes for it at all. I thought it was going to be fucking terrible. And then it has one of my ultimate ninja samurai go-to guys in it. The guy who plays Scorpion, he is one of my favorite Asian action star actors. Like, I love him in The Last Samurai. I love him in 47 Ronin.
Yes.
I love him in Rush Hour. I love him like in every movie I've ever seen.
I really
him
liked him in 47 Ronin.
His old Japanese movies, like everything. So
he's OG as fuck, boy.
Yeah, and he worked so hard. I think that he did a great job. Like, literally, the only thing I had to say even negative about Scorpion's character was that one liner, the one he's known for, and I think
that was given off.
Well,
I honestly didn't have a problem with
his mask off whenever he's talking, and you can hear him better. But he didn't take his mask off for that line, and that's the only line I was like, that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder if the reason why they kept having him take his mask off was because he couldn't hear him while he was talking in it.
All I know is he delivered Scorpion's signature line, sounding like a walrus yelling at you with a hoarse throat through a cement wall while a blender was on, and I did not appreciate that.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It's pretty freaking whack.
But his acting and his choreography was solid. That opening scene still.
Yeah,
man, I loved
there were a few of the fight scenes where the choreography, the fighting was fucking garbage.
We're sus.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Bad,
I'll put it that way. You know, I mean, if you're gonna take an actor and put them in a scene that is meant to make them believable as a fighter, then do such. Don't make the choreography so blatantly choreographed.
Terrible, Andy.
You know,
just
it's
terrible.
like,
or
don't,
looking
or
like a Steven Seagal movie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So, but other than that, you know, I fucks with the movie heavy. I like it.
I fucks with it heavy too. I mean, and the thing that I really appreciate about the movie, it was half horror movie because they didn't just give us these characters.
They gave us Jason.
They made Sub-Zero Jason Voorhees.
Yes.
This dude showed up and it was a horror show.
You were just be standing outside your fucking back door, like, what? Where'd you just pop up?
And I'm glad we didn't get another oversized fucking Muppet with a bad lace front.
See, and people were talking about like the graphics. I'm like, the animation was better to me. I think the choreography was better than like the first, like even Annihilation. God, that choreography in that movie was
that wasn't choreography. That was a lot of fucking
terrible.
I would like to see somebody point out a movie that has better graphics that is in the same genre. Because you're going to try to throw jujitsu at us.
Oh my god.
Fighting?
With fucking
sure.
I've never seen it, and I
so
refuse to see it.
I am going to force you to watch it.
He forced me to watch it, and I was like, my love for you. Like, I could have broke up with him for that movie.
Me and Rashad might fight because I'm not going to let him change the channel or go to sleep.
Well, I might have to replace your TV, so I'll probably throw you through it.
Yeah, because that shit was fucking awful. And I sat through it just so that I could talk shit about it. Honestly, I sat through it just so I could talk shit to him about it for the rest of our relationship.
And it's still going.
You put yourself in that position.
And I will say this, the only redeeming part of jiu-jitsu is Nicolas Cage. And it's the reverse on Mortal Kombat. They got actors that were either badass at what they do action-wise or are just brimming with fucking personality. I would have never chosen that person to play Kano.
And Kano was one of the good parts of the movie.
And after watching the movie, I would never cast anybody other than him to play Kano.
He was a great Kano.
My first initial reaction to him as Kano was kind of like, okay. Another kind of like another Aussie. But then...
Oh, wait, we can...
There you go. But as his character's dialogue picked up, it was like, okay, I get it. And he played Kano to a fucking T. He made the character his own. That's one thing about when they do a lot of these remakes and stuff. You're gonna remake a movie or reboot a movie and cast people in these roles. Give them the opportunity to make that character their own.
And like for me, a good example, honestly, this time was Sonya. I hated her in the first one. I hated her in the second one. Her character, they made her this really annoying ass white chick. And in this one, I actually enjoyed her character. She was believable as.
I was afraid they're gonna pull from the video game. Like my biggest fear with the whole movie is like the recent release of Mortal Kombat 11 video game. I was really scared that they were gonna try to make the movie based off of that. It's like, no, leave the game the way the fuck it is. It has its own storyline. If you've actually played the game and need the expansion of the story mode, it's like a movie itself that you actually can interact with. Leave that shit alone. Nope, that's what a lot of these video games movies, when they take video games and turn to movies, pull from the video game, but don't try to mimic what's in the fucking game.
Or books. The same thing goes for that. Or when people just try to... For me, what really pisses me off is this whole mentality that it's not like the original, so it's not good. And I'm like, no. Just because something is not like the original movie, just because you don't have that feeling of your childhood when you watch it, doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
Exactly.
Like I've heard so many people give shit about that Mulan, the live action Mulan movie. If you had never seen the original cartoon, you would have been like, this is a good ass movie. Yeah. But people are like, they don't even have the music and it's not the same as the other one. And I'm like, no, I haven't watched it, but traditional as fucking. It's a really good movie. I loved it.
I'm gonna watch it, but I am the exact opposite when it came to those live action redos. Why am I watching a live version of the cartoon? You're doing it word for word, scene for scene. Why am I here if nothing is original?
Mulan like that. It wasn't like
that's why I'll watch it.
I tried to watch I didn't watch Lion King. I tried to watch the live action Aladdin.
Yeah,
I made it about 30 minutes into it, maybe about 45 minutes. I made it as far as when Aladdin goes back and he's now the Prince Ali, all that bullshit and that whole musical thing. I was like, all right, not bad. Will Smith is a giant Smurf, kind of awkward.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he played the character to a T, but I like how, even when he's being interviewed about it, he's like, when he's first offered the part, he was like, no.
Yeah,
He's like Robin Williams is Genie. But then he did it, and he did it in a way to where, if you pay attention, it was his own thing, but he paid homage to Robin Williams for what he did. Like, he didn't destroy what Robin Williams put out there as Genie, but he kind of made the character his own.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
Yeah,
I never finished it, because, like I said, I got as far as that scene, and when he met the chick that played Jasmine, whatever, then I completely
Power
lost.
Ranger, yes.
I just lost all fucking...
No, I feel
interest in the
honestly,
movie.
like, for me, when we rate these live actions compared to, like, the cartoons or the books or whatever, like, I would have to say, like, Lion King is the epitome of a terrible replica of the cartoon. Like,
I'm going Beauty and the Beast on that.
No, I like Beauty and the Beast way better than Lion King. It had Childish Gambino, Beyonce, all these names, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be a fire ass soundtrack. It's gonna be a good movie, and it was just like really bad. It was like really bad. I was so disappointed.
Yeah, I didn't
and then
watch
Aladdin
it.
was in between. It was okay. And then on the other spectrum, we have Mulan, which was pretty much nothing like the cartoon, but really good movie.
Now, I like the fact that y'all bring up the person that played Jasmine, because, like I said, she is also the one that plays Kimberly in the Power Rangers movie. And in the Power Rangers movie, we also have Ludi Lin, who played the new Black Ranger, Zack, who in this movie played Liu Kang.
Yeah.
Now,
he was just a boy toy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did he play Liu Kang a little gay?
Like gay for Kung Lao, or
I'm not. Just look at his interactions. Look at how when somebody was hurt,
he played more like
I think he was played a little less intense compared to.
Yeah, he was more of a monk.
In the first two, I remember them always just being so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like they kind of went back to him being.
You know what? Let me take it back. I'm sorry. Gay was the wrong word. I do apologize for that. He had a lot of feminine energy.
He just seemed chill to me mostly.
He seemed too monkish.
I wouldn't even say monkish. I would just say handmaiden.
I mean, that's even a word, but I mean,
handmaiden. He didn't have like his own presence all the way like he did in other movies, like much more forward. I can kind of see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but you got to think about in other movies too. He was the main hero per se.
Yeah,
you know, he was the one.
And he kind of was in this movie, but it wasn't in the same way as in the other one.
No, this one he seemed to be more of the
mentor.
Yeah, thank you, the mentor, and Raiden kind of seemed to be like, I'm the head motherfucking.
Raiden gave zero fucks in this movie.
Oh yeah, he did.
I liked Raiden's energy.
I liked him.
I loved his energy in this movie. He
didn't
give a fuck about
very
anybody.
Small, very few scenes, but when he popped up, you knew shit was about to get real, and it did. Especially the very end of it.
All right, so we're getting kind of close to the time frame that we set for ourselves. So I'm going to say I had no issues with the special effects. I've seen worse. I've seen better.
Yeah.
I did not go into this movie a boy expecting to come out a man. That's not the kind of movie that this is going to be. That's not the movie you should be expecting. It
was fucking entertaining.
So for the dialogue, for the graphics, for what was given to me, for the choreography, I am going to go 6.5 out of 10.
You took mine. Damn it.
I'm gonna give it a solid 7.
Solid 7.
Yeah, I was in between 6 and a 6.5, a 6.5. I don't know what people were expecting from this movie, like some type of message or for it to be insightful. But I think we got exactly what we were looking for. A movie about a video.
Only reason why I give it a solid 7. I like, after watching the entire movie, you know, I had to take back some of my opinions of some of the people casting the roles.
Oh, but I was shitting on it based on the trailer.
But each person played their character very well.
Yeah, I'd say a 6.5 as well. And
it ended a lot better than I thought.
Oh, that cliffhanger I got wood for. And you're gonna have to wait and find out what I mean.
Yeah.
But so just to keep this contained, thanks for watching. This is Nick P.
Shad-Don.
And Diana off camera.
Yeah, please join us for our next movie review. Peace.